In the last 4 years, the United States has dedicated over $8 billion toward the development of hypersonic missiles, with an additional $13 billion set aside for the next 5 years. This substantial investment highlights the importance placed on advancing missile technology to maintain a strategic edge. The recent unveiling of Iran's hypersonic missile has sparked significant concern as it introduces new complexities in global military dynamics, especially given Iran's alliance with Russia. The collaboration could potentially shift the balance in ongoing conflicts, such as the war in Ukraine, where Iran's missile capabilities might support Russia against U.S.-aligned forces. Iran's recent transfer of ballistic missiles to Russia has marked a pivotal moment in the ongoing conflict in Ukraine. It's reported that a few hundred short-range ballistic missiles have reached Russian forces, although the specific types remain undisclosed. One source suggested the missiles might include the FAT-360, known for its precision and a range of approximately 75 miles. The logistics of this transfer involve moving the missiles via Russian ships from Iranian ports to the Caspian Sea, indicating a high level of coordination between the two nations. This transfer may allow Russia to reallocate its own Iskander missiles, which have a more extensive range of at least 310 miles, potentially enabling strikes on deeper targets across Ukraine. Adding to the gravity of the situation is the training of Russian troops in Iran to operate these missile systems, signaling more than a simple arms transfer, but rather a deeper military collaboration. At the same time, Ukrainian forces have been actively targeting Russian assets. A recent attack aimed at an ammunition dump in Russia's Oryol region resulted in secondary explosions and fires, highlighting Ukraine's attempts to disrupt enemy logistics and supply lines. This was reportedly carried out using one-way attack drones, targeting stockpiles of K-23 short-range ballistic missiles previously supplied to Russia by North Korea. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky's visit to Germany for talks with Western defense officials underscores the urgency for military assistance. While past deliveries of weapon systems such as ATACMS, Storm Shadow, and Scalp EG missiles have bolstered Ukraine's defense, there is a clear need for more long-range strike capabilities to counter emerging threats, especially in light of Iran's missile advancements. The situation becomes even more pressing when considering the potential shift toward hypersonic warfare. Iran's unveiling of its first hypersonic missile, named Fatah, on June 6, 2023, has sent shockwaves through the international defense community. With a reported top speed of Mach 15, this missile doesn't just meet the hypersonic threshold, it exceeds it dramatically. The introduction of Fatah places Iran among a select group of countries, previously only the United States, Russia, and China, that possess hypersonic missile technology. Its implications for global security are profound. The speed and maneuverability of hypersonic missiles make them incredibly challenging to intercept. Unlike traditional ballistic missiles, which follow a predictable flight path, hypersonic weapons can alter their course mid-flight, adding an extra layer of complexity for defense systems. Hypersonic missiles generally fall into two categories: air-breathing scramjet missiles and boost-glide vehicles. Air-breathing scramjets use advanced engines that compress air for combustion, sustaining hypersonic speeds within the atmosphere. Boost-glide vehicles, on the other hand, are launched to high altitudes by rockets and then glide and maneuver through the upper atmosphere toward their targets. Iran's Fatah appears to belong to the latter category, which would enable it to reach extraordinary speeds. The missile reportedly incorporates a thrust vectoring system, which allows for precise control during its flight. This capability would indeed make it a formidable weapon, potentially capable of bypassing advanced missile defense systems like Israel's Iron Dome. Iranian officials have suggested that the missile could strike targets within Israel in under 7 minutes. However, no actual launch tests have been publicly confirmed. To date, the only demonstration involved a ground test of the missile's engine. While this is an important step, it does not prove the missile's complete functionality. Iran also claims that Fatah has a reduced radar cross-section, which enhances its stealth capabilities. Although experts argue that even missiles with minimized signatures can still be detected by sophisticated radar systems due to their high-altitude trajectories. There are comparisons being made between the Fatah and other ballistic missiles with maneuverable re-entry vehicles, such as Russia's Iskander. This has led to speculation that Fatah may not represent a revolutionary leap in missile technology, but rather a refinement of existing capabilities. Developing a genuine hypersonic missile is an incredibly challenging endeavor. Up until now, only the United States, Russia, and China, countries with trillion-dollar economies and extensive research and development resources, have successfully fielded such weapons. The United States continues to push forward in its efforts to meet hypersonic threats. Recently, the U.S. Army and Navy conducted a test of a hypersonic weapon at Cape Canaveral, Florida. However, the details of the test have been shrouded in secrecy, with no confirmation of whether it was successful or even if an actual launch occurred. This lack of transparency is notable, especially given the troubled history of the Army's ground-based hypersonic weapon system, known as Dark Eagle, which has faced delays and multiple scrub test launches over the past year. In June, the Pentagon announced a successful test of a common hypersonic missile designed for use in both the Army's Dark Eagle and the Navy's Intermediate Range Conventional Prompt Strike (IRCPS) programs. This missile is part of the U.S. effort to develop boost-glide hypersonic weapons, which use a rocket booster to accelerate a glide vehicle to hypersonic speeds before the glide vehicle maneuvers toward its target. Despite the reported success, the test did not include a full end-to-end evaluation with the complete operational system, indicating ongoing work to validate all components and integrated systems for combat readiness. Further evidence of hypersonic testing emerged on July 25th, when aviation tracking enthusiasts observed unusual flight activity at Cape Canaveral, suggesting another test. Specialized aircraft typically used for missile tests were detected in the area, including the U.S. Navy's NP-3D Orion missile tracking plane and NASA's WB-57F high-altitude research aircraft. The presence of these planes indicated that a missile test likely occurred, as they are often involved in tracking and gathering data from such events. The observations implied that while the U.S. continues to make progress on hypersonic capabilities, the full operational deployment of systems like Dark Eagle remains a work in progress. The lack of a complete end-to-end test highlights the challenges in developing these advanced weapons, which are crucial for maintaining a strategic edge against emerging global threats. The U.S. hypersonic weapon under development, known as the All-Up Round, AUR, is designed for both Dark Eagle and IRCPS. It consists of a large rocket booster with an unpowered hypersonic glide vehicle mounted on top. The system uses the booster to accelerate the glide vehicle to hypersonic speeds before releasing it, allowing the vehicle to travel at speeds above Mach 5 along a shallow flight path toward its target. The Army has indicated that this weapon, in its ground-launched form, could reach speeds of at least Mach 17 and have a range exceeding 1,725 miles, with recent test warnings suggesting it could potentially reach up to 2,726 miles. Despite these advancements, the timeline for operational deployment remains uncertain. Last year, 3 attempted tests were aborted due to issues with the ground-based launcher rather than the missile itself. A Navy test of a similar missile failed mid-flight in 2022, raising concerns about the overall reliability of the program. Originally, the Army aimed to deploy Dark Eagle by the end of fiscal year 2023, which concluded on September 30th. That timeline has now shifted to the end of the current fiscal year, with the goal of episodic deployments of hypersonic missile units to Germany by 2026. The emergence of Iran's Fatah missile adds a new dimension to the global race for hypersonic capabilities. The U.S., already engaged in developing its own advanced systems, may find itself under increased pressure to accelerate its programs. With Russia potentially gaining access to more advanced missile technology through its alliance with Iran, the geopolitical landscape is rapidly evolving. This escalation puts Washington in a delicate position, balancing its support for Ukraine with a cautious approach to avoid further tensions with Iran. As hypersonic technology becomes a central focus in military strategies, nations worldwide are ramping up their investments. Russia and China have already showcased hypersonic weapons, with China testing the DF-ZF, a hypersonic glide vehicle capable of reaching speeds above Mach 10. Russia's Avangard, a hypersonic glide vehicle mounted on an intercontinental ballistic missile, has also been operational since 2019. These developments signal a shift in military power dynamics, where traditional defense systems may no longer suffice. Iran's recent advancements serve as a reminder that hypersonic missile technology is no longer the exclusive domain of the world's wealthiest nations. The technology's proliferation could lead to a significant reshaping of military strategies and alliances, as nations seek to either develop their own hypersonic capabilities or find ways to counter them effectively. For Ukraine, securing long-range strike systems from Western allies may become increasingly vital in deterring missile threats from Russian and Iranian forces. The United States' continued pursuit of hypersonic weapons, despite setbacks, demonstrates a commitment to staying ahead of these emerging threats. Whether it will be able to successfully deploy a fully operational hypersonic missile in the near future remains to be seen. Nevertheless, the introduction of weapons like Iran's Fata underscores the urgency of this race, as hypersonic technology may soon become a decisive factor in conflicts worldwide. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this, don't forget to like and subscribe for more content.